6th, 2023. We have board members present in the meeting room, Tom Kempner, Luke Ferrin, and myself, Mark Greenwald. And we have board member Julie McCormick appearing via Zoom. Our legal counsel, Jeffrey Blinkoff, is also appearing via Zoom, as well as our environmental consultant, Chick Voorhees, and also present is our village planner, Alex Wallach, in the room. So we have a few adjournments that we will take care of first, just in case people are attending this meeting to hear certain cases. We are going to motion to adjourn case number 3164, 43 Bailey Road, because we do not have a quorum tonight to hear that case. So can I have a second to adjourn case number 3164?
Second.
And all in favor?
And that's to adjourn to November 14th.
And we'll adjourn that to November 14th. So we are adjourning by unanimous vote, case number 3164, Robert Cornstein and Sherry Gottesman, to November 14th, our next scheduled meeting. We are accepting, I will motion to accept in the case of Eiffel Residence LLC, case number 3156, 2020 Meadow Lane, the applicant's request to adjourn their application to November 14th, 2023. Can I have a second? And all in favor of accepting the applicant's request to adjourn case number 3156?
I have a question. That is the second adjournment for this case, is that correct? So the next time the applicant, if they wanted an adjournment, they would have to appear in person, correct?
Is it our second adjournment?
I have to confirm, that may be the case, but I didn't check.
Yeah, if it is their second adjournment tonight, then yes, they need to appear in person at the November 14th meeting in the event that they're adjourning again.
Was the first time the one that we had adjourned because of a snafu about the documents?
No, that's
So, you're right.
we are also, I will motion to accept the applicant's request to adjourn case number 3160, 20 Hillcrest Lane, to our next public hearing on November 14th, 2023. Can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor of accepting the applicant's request to adjourn to November 14th in case number 3160? Aye. We have a motion, I have a motion to accept the applicant's request in case number 3155, 1750 Waterview LLC, to adjourn to our next public hearing on November 14th, 2023. Can I have a second? And all in favor? We have, we had closed for decision case number 3158, 1430 Meadow Lane. So I would like to collect the board members' views of how they want to decide case number 3158, 1430 Meadow Lane. It's a request for a variance to pierce the 33-degree side yard sky plane by an additional 1,155 cubic feet, and to increase the maximum height in the FEMA special flood area by 6 feet 1 inch, and from 28 feet above base flood elevation for a flat roof permitted to 34 feet 1 inch above base flood elevation. For a flat roof or proposed 2-story flat roof addition, 39 feet 10 inches above base flood elevation. Julie, do you have your thoughts about how to decide this variance request?
Based on all of the information that has been collected and the deliberations and questions that have been asked over several hearings, including the construction, the amount of benefit to the applicant, and the impact that this project would have on the surrounding wetlands and the construction phase, I feel as though we are ready for a decision. I feel as though it is not a request that I would be able to accept.
Luke, do you wanna weigh in with your thoughts on?
Sure. The zoning code is clear that it's not a permitted, modification to the house, that's why they're here. And, going by the 5 points, I don't think the applicant has shown, a need that outweighs any detriment. So I would not feel comfortable granting the variance in this case.
And Tom, your thoughts?
I agree with Julie and Luke. They already have a very good sized house where they should be able to accomplish their needs with what they already have.
So it sounds like each of you would vote to deny the requested variance?
That's right.
Yes, that's right.
Correct.
I would be following, I've given a lot of thought to this, particular application. The board has been considering over the course of several months and over the course of several public hearings, each of the 5 factors necessary to balance the benefit to be realized by the applicant against the potential detriment to the health, safety, and general welfare of the neighborhood or community if the variance were to be granted. No one factor in this case has been determined. Of particular importance is that the benefit to the applicant is small. The applicant seeks to add 3 feet to 2 bedrooms on the 2nd floor of an existing residence that already has a total square footage of 9,387 square feet. The square footage of the 2nd floor alone is 4,243 square feet, and they seek to add an additional 290 square feet. This would increase the square footage of the 2nd floor from 4,243 square feet to 4,533 square feet. The applicant has put forward a proposal that the way for them to do this is to expand the exterior of the house and request 937 square feet of height relief and 6.1 feet of height relief and 1,155 square feet of pyramid wall relief. The existing residence does not comply with current sky plane and height requirements. The amount of relief requested here is an addition to a house whose mass exceeds current zoning requirements. By itself, the amount of pyramid law and height relief is substantial. Together with the already non-conforming massing, the additional expansion is certainly substantial. Can the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance? It seems to me undeniably true that the applicant could reconfigure the interior of the 2nd floor to add a small amount of space to the 2nd floor bedrooms. The current plans requiring height relief already include some reconfiguration of the interior space. Will there be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood? Apart from the overly tall and increased massing of the house that infringes upon zoning code provisions passed by the trustees to address such concerns, the plan also proposes eliminating garage space and moving parking spaces to locations along the side of the driveway. Moving cars from indoor to outdoor spaces and parking several cars in the front yard does create a negative change to the neighborhood. I would also note that the applicant has not produced any evidence that their property size, configuration, topography, or existence of wetlands is substantially different from any other property in the neighborhood. The inability to be able to highlight why this particular property is different and deserving of relief highlights that the applicant's concern is with the zoning requirements themselves rather than how these requirements are being applied to this particular property. And for these reasons, I would join my 3 colleagues on the board and vote to deny the variance request. All of this will be subject, of course, to written opinion by legal counsel, but I'll motion to deny the variance request in case number 3158, subject to the written decision of legal counsel in case number 3158. Can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor of denying the requested variances?
Right.
So that's unanimous, subject to our written decision. And then we can move on to our first pending case.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to be excusing myself from the balance of the meeting, and I thank you very much for the opportunity to be here for this amount of time tonight.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, Juliet.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, so we'll start with our first pending case, which is case number 3144, Stephen Hickey, 1377 Meadow Lane.
You see Rob going up to the podium. Mr. Chairman, maybe I'll make a couple of introductory remarks and then Rob can kind of bring us into where we need to be to consider this matter.
Go ahead, Chick.
So this has been held for quite a while, at least since April. That was one of the last submissions I found in the file from the applicant. The reason being that there was work required in a prior zoning board of appeals permit that was not completed or was incomplete. And so the applicant has been adjourning for good reason to install plantings that went through the fall season, and plantings have been completed. I did send a memo to the building department, and I believe each of the members received it. It's dated October 13th, 2022. The ecologist in my office visited the site, took some photographs, had the original plans, and verified that the plantings have been completed in accordance with the original planting plan. One of the main things that we saw was kind of a round sitting area that was easily observed on aerial photographs to the north of the house, and that was intended to be established in natural vegetation as a result of the prior decision. So unless there are questions, I believe at this time, based on my October 13th memo and the efforts of the applicant, we can continue, again, subject to your approval, to hear an application for a dock on the Dug Lagoon, which we're quite familiar with through other applications in the past and other dock plans. So I had mentioned to Rob that because it's been so long, it would be very effective and useful to both me and the board to hear an overview going back to the last submission, referencing appropriate plans, bringing us up to date on what permits have been issued, and basically bringing us to the field so that we can now continue to consider the dock. So those are my remarks. If there are any questions, otherwise I think the applicant should continue.
That's great. Now, I'll just put it into context and say that there was a law passed by the trustees that precluded the boards from processing applications in the event that we found prior violations with respect to compliance with prior zoning board decisions or other zoning requirements. This applicant, I applaud them. It was wonderful when we pointed out the new legislation. They immediately addressed our concerns as expeditiously as possible, demonstrated their compliance with past zoning board decisions, and now we're back here. And I think we accomplished the purposes of the legislation, and we I think the board just wants to thank the applicant's consultant and the applicant themselves for doing this. So please go ahead.
Thanks, Chick. Thanks, Mark. And I, in turn, thank the board for its patience on this one. As Chick mentioned, it has been a while. When I was originally before the board, we were all about a year younger. It was September 13, 22, when we originally presented an application for what is commonly referred to as a kayak dock, meaning it's a fixed-only catwalk. It's similar to the dock on the adjacent property. As Chick mentioned, the board has approved a few of these over the years. I've done a few of them myself. When we appeared, the board and Chick had raised a few requests relative to the originally submitted application, one which was that the fixed wood stairs at the terminal end of the structure be replaced with removal of running stairs. One which was to add a note to the plan that during the removal of the existing platform and the construction of the proposed dock, that care would be taken not to damage existing wetland or surrounding vegetation. If any such damage occurred, that it would be replaced in kind and in place. And we were asked to provide a brief construction methodology. Prior to the October 22 hearing, we did submit revised plans reflecting those changes. We did submit a construction methodology, and at the hearing in October of 22, we got the impression that the board and the environmental consultant had found the submissions to be satisfactory, but as Mark just laid out, we couldn't actually continue at that point because an issue was raised regarding non-compliance in terms of vegetative plantings with a much older ZBA decision. As a result of various different influencing factors, it took quite some time to actually get the plantings in the ground, but they were completed within the past month. I was out to the site and forwarded some pictures to Alex. It did look like the plantings were a really nice job was done on the plantings. And as Chip explained, he was out and fortunately came to the same conclusion. So without taking any more of the board's time this evening, we are hoping that you are now satisfied and can close this hearing and move on hopefully to a positive decision on the dock. All other permits had been obtained when we originally came before the board. The Southampton Town Trustees permit did expire during the time that we've been doing this. We had to submit a new application, and the board of Town Trustees, I think it was on the 16th, did advance the renewal, essentially, of the application to their upcoming meeting for approval. So with this board's approval and the pending trustees' approval, we would be able to move ahead.
Chick, I have this question. If
Sure.
it was referenced that this dock is similar to the adjacent dock, the dock on the adjacent property, similar to, are there any differences of significance between this dock and the dock on the adjacent property?
Pulling up the aerial photograph, the property to the east. That dock is closer to the eastern property line, fairly close. It is a fixed dock with some sort of steps. There is no float, which is consistent with the village as well as DEC and Army Corps. I don't see any substantial differences. The length seems similar and the purpose seems similar. We can also ask Rob if he has any comments on that, but that's those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and that was, part of the intent with the application was to be consistent, not only with the adjacent property, but I believe, I can't remember the address, but it was the Simonis property that had been approved for similar structure since the dock to the east. And I've handled all three of those applications, and the intent has been to be consistent therewith.
Can I see that? 1 second.
Sure.
Well, Chick, you've seen that all the past problems have been remedied, or you or one of your colleagues?
Yes, that's exactly my report from the memo of October 15th. We have photographs, we describe our observations, and everything, in our opinion, has been remedied based on the original plan that was granted by this board.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was going to ask, if there, Mark, I don't know if you had any other questions. So.
No, go ahead.
I would ask Rob to just describe the installation, the height above the wetlands, the retractable steps, and also, through-flow decking, and finally to verify the date on the actual plan. Because as Rob said, there was submission to go back to October of 2022. And I think, I'll certainly need to sort out the file depending on our options tonight. but I think having that as part of the testimony would be helpful.
Sure, some of this, Chick, will be repetitive in terms of the record, but to honor your request, I can go through it quickly. The originally dated plan was 9/23/21. The revised plan was dated 10/5/22. That was the plan that was revised to show the removable steps. That plan has not changed since it was submitted to this board a year ago. Again, the reason it's for the time lapse was unrelated. We call this a kayak dock. It's a term that town trustees and other agencies use to indicate that it is not intended to be a deep water dock designed for mooring of large boats, but rather for tie-up of kayaks, canoes, small outboards. The site conditions and proposed dock are virtually identical, as I previously testified, in nature to the existing dock structure on the adjacent property to the east, which is 1361 Middle Lane. That was approved by the board in case 2869 in 2015, and also to the one located 9 properties to the west at 1485 Meadow Lane. That was the Sonoda's case I just mentioned, which runs the similar Dug Lagoon to the west and was approved pursuant to case number 3035 in 2019. Consistent with the docks the board approved in those cases, the structure proposed here is a minor appurtenance to the existing single-family dwelling, which was renovated pursuant to case number 2595 in 2009. That was the variance case that required the plantings that we had to present current compliance with. The dock would be constructed entirely with untreated materials. The dock would be elevated sufficiently above the grade of wetlands and decked with open grade decking material to allow light and water penetration through the structure, thus allowing for the continued growth of vegetation beneath it. It will be situated more than 15 feet from the extension of both side property lines and extend less than 15% of the width of the waterway, thus creating no impediment to navigation or interference with the neighboring property owner's use of the same waterway. The dock would traverse the upland in a location that will have minimal impact on grading and existing plantings, and in this case would be constructed in the place of a smaller dock platform that is to be removed from the same location. As noted by the village in the wetland special permit authorizing the adjacent dock, granting of the permission for this type of structure allows access over wetlands and other naturally occurring vegetation to the surface waters of the adjacent Dug Lagoon by use of the structure that provides a single point of access rather than uncontrolled foot traffic and dragging of watercraft through the wetlands. Did I get all that, Chick?
That was very thorough, Mr. Lee, if that's what came up to date. I do want to note that I have a letter from your office, dated April of 2023, that has, submission documents. I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize. Looks like it's earlier than that. So 10/5/2022.
That's right.
Is the proper submission. I do have all of that.
That's correct.
So that is confirmed.
Yeah, that was the last material submission related to the dock itself.
Very good. Those are my only questions.
Yes, is anybody in the, from the public wish to be heard? Sage, is there anybody on
I don't have any hands.
Zoom? Okay, so I'll motion to, Chick, you have everything you need?
I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion to close for all purposes or close for decision. Case number 3144, Stephen Hickey, 1377 Meadow Lane. Can I have a second?
Second.
And then all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Mr.
Rob.
Chairman,
Thanks, Chick.
Just said.
we have typically, some sort of a consensus of the zoning board to authorize you to prepare the permit. I think it's implied here, but, we have followed that process in the past.
Do you want us to motion?
We can ask Jeffrey, but, I think it's good for the record.
Okay, is Jeffrey there?
Yeah, he's here.
Is there an issue in doing that?
Are we asking Jeffrey, is he available?
Hi, sorry, I was muted for some reason. No, there is no issue in doing that. I would suggest that there be a motion to allow Mr. Voorhees to prepare the permit.
Okay, so I'll motion to allow Chick Voorhees, our environmental Consultant to prepare the necessary permits in the case of Stephen Hickey, case number 3144. Can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And Chick, if
Thank
you're
you
able,
very much.
if you're able to prepare that for the next meeting, we can get it ready for the chair's signature.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, that should be fine.
Right, right,
Alex, that's the 14th?
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, I explained my medical situation, so I'm going to drop off at this time.
Go to bed.
Feel
Feel better.
better. Feel better, Chick?
Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Great to see you. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. Take care.
Have a good night.
Be well.
So we're gonna move on to, case number 3165, Victoria Khan, 107 Woolley Street. The applicant here to present.
Good evening, Richard S. Vernon Pachetti, 320 Hampton Road, Southampton, for Victoria Khan. I believe Vicky is on Zoom to watch us and answer any questions that you might have of her. I take it that you all received a copy of the letter dated September 7th, 2023? And that was, I think the last time that we were here, the questions had to do with, did they do a carport instead of the garage or some other questions. Does this letter answer the questions that you all had?
It addresses them.
Addresses them.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to make it as simple as we can. It's a corner lot, so we're very limited in where a garage can go. Apparently, it's directly across the street from, on John Street from the other neighbor on Water Street, the other corner, whose driveway is right across the street as
Right.
well. So I don't see any adverse impact to anybody or anything.
Can we just put on camera what the proposal is? Do you have a survey that you can have us look at on camera?
So, do you all have this document? This is a panel.
Yes, no, we have that. I just wanted to say it should be able to show
So
it
if you
on.
put it on the
camera.
table facing the board, we'll be able to take it up.
That's it. Is this what we're looking for?
Okay,
Okay, and
whatever
You
illustration
can
of the
leave it flat on the table.
just like so?
Yep.
Okay, facing that way?
Correct.
Okay. I think that's, I just want to see if there's a table for you. I think that's it. Here we go. Well, this is the survey here.
Can we get this on
Something
camera?
I'm take what you draw.
I mean, he's moving it all over.
Yeah, Mr. Vernon, the drawing is great. Let's try to get it underneath the camera right above
Right
you.
there, right there.
Okay. I'm doing-
That's,
Okay. Do
You
you want
can
the
see it.
drawing or the,
No, that drawing is great. That
Okay.
drawing is helpful.
do you need me to,
Try turning it a little bit and then Sage can zoom
This
in
way?
on it. And let's get it as flat as you can.
there you go.
Yes. Okay.
how are we doing there?
There. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so the proposal is for the addition of that garage.
Right, so off of John Street.
And how far is that garage from John Street?
I believe it's 17 feet.
I believe it is 18 feet on the design letter.
Or is it 18 feet?
And I think that's what it says on the,
It's a 17-foot variance, so it should be 18 feet, is that what you see there?
yeah, it's noted as an 18-foot setback
Okay.
from the property line.
Okay, so it's 18 feet from the property line where 35 feet is
Right.
required.
There's no other place to put that garage. Again, necessitated by the fact that we have a corner lot.
Can you refresh my memory? The other building to the south of it, up on the drawing, what is that again? It maybe probably was a garage once, but is now a studio or a storage space.
It's the pool house. You're talking about the,
Okay, okay. And then that's the swimming pool immediately.
yeah, there's this very small swimming pool there.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see the dimensions of it. I've seen it, it's not very large.
Up here in the corner is just
Ah,
yard. Where you see the house.
yeah. and then the proposed garage is to the south.
And what is the square footage of the pool house?
Sorry,
What is the square footage of the pool house?
I believe it's listed on the document as 366 square feet.
Okay.
Is that non-conforming? I mean, pre-existing non-conforming, but is it 366 feet?
The size of the pool house? I believe that's per permitted.
That's square footage would be permitted?
Yes, I think it's.
Is there enough FAR for the proposed garage?
I have to check the calculations, but it would have been reviewed by the building inspector when it was submitted. A proposed garage like this is typically exempt from FAR, sorry, from GFA.
As long as it remains under a certain amount of square footage, right?
Correct,
600.
under a certain size, and if it's used only for garage purposes.
Yeah. Mr. Fernan,
Yes, sir.
have they ever made any consideration to reverting the pool house to the garage and then doing a small pool house directly beneath the pool? That would maybe separate those two buildings a little bit?
I don't know, Vicky, if you are here, maybe you raise your hand and answer that question?
Obviously, it would still require the same variance,
Hold on.
but
Vicky, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Luke, would you just repeat that question for her, please?
sure. Hi, Ms. Khan. My question was, had any thought been given to reverting the pool house back to a garage or making it the garage, and then having the new structure be a little bit further away from that structure and closer to the pool? And, my point is, it would give a little breathing room between the buildings. It would still require the same variance request, right? Because you'd still be in the front yard. But my issue right now is that it seems as if these two buildings are lumped very, very closely together, and there's a lot going on the property.
No, to answer the question, so no, we didn't, because there's a big difference in elevation. So, that's why we didn't want to put the garage on top of the pool house. There's very little room on this, on the lot, given it's a corner lot. And so what we're proposing is a very small, actually what we're proposing is smaller than what our neighbor has at 91 Woolly. It's a smaller driveway, it's a smaller garage, but it would look like the same, have the same architectural appearance. So I am, concerned about how the property looks and architecturally, and I think that what we're proposing would be very aesthetic and very much in keeping with our neighborhood.
How far back, what's the setback at 91 Willow across the street?
Do you know that, Vicky?
No, we're doing as much, it's a much larger driveway, it's a larger garage, but I don't have the survey in front of me, so I don't know what that number is.
We can probably find that out also.
Assuming that there's a survey on file with the building department.
Do we know if 91 Woolley received a variance to add that garage?
I would have to check our records. I can tell from satellite images it's approximately 40 feet, but we would need a survey.
But from your satellite image, it appears that maybe 40 feet back from the setback.
Approximately.
Any other questions?
After you.
No, I'm done. I just was, comparing it to 91 Woolley.
Tom.
No, okay.
I mean, it's a reasonably small garage, it's a one-car garage, we couldn't really make it any smaller. I think a one-story, or one-car garage would be a customary accessory use in this neighborhood. Right now, there is no garage on the property. I think you indicated that the pool house may have been a garage at one point. I don't believe that was
No.
ever a garage. It was not.
Yeah.
So I don't believe there was ever a garage on the property.
Okay.
Vicky, can you confirm that there was never a garage on the property?
Yes, we did confirm that, there was never any garage in the back.
Alex, is there any data in the village records that,
Well, I do want to point out that when you look at older aerials, there was a driveway leading to that structure.
To the pool house structure?
Correct. And there was, this driveway that's currently on the property was not there. The only driveway is to that structure, I believe up into 2004.
see, to me, the applicant already has the benefit of a large accessory structure on the property. They've chosen to use it in one way, which is absolutely their right. You know, could the request be made smaller and some compromises be made by the homeowner, but still achieve big picture, everything? I kind of think so. I don't know, do you guys have I don't think too deep into it?
When did Judge pick current ownership?
Vicky, when did you purchase the property?
2004,
In 2007,
2007, okay.
yes, so the pool house was there when I purchased the property. And to answer the other gentleman's question, I don't think I could possibly build a garage smaller. I have a small car. I think only my little cars will fit in there. And I really can't make it any smaller than what we're shown on the drawing.
Alex, what were you looking at that showed a driveway leading, in 2004?
If you're able to see my screen, this is the subject property highlighted in yellow at the town's GIS, and you can, there's older aerial available. This is the property as it appears in 2004, so the driveway was in a different location.
That's it, the driveway's going right to, okay, so there's a driveway there. Is there any way to zoom in and see if it's actually accessing that structure, or?
You have to see if there is, what's called a leak imagery. I don't know how far this would go back. This goes back only to 2006.
How many feet right now, Mr. Ferdinand, proposed between the garage and the pool house?
I'm sorry?
How many feet are proposed, like 3 feet between the two?
It's 5 feet, which
Between
is
the two buildings?
the
which is-
minimum required by the zoning ordinance.
If they were to make it, say, enlarge the pool house and add the garage onto it, would that open up a different set of problems for them by having an accessory structure that is too large?
Possibly, and they would not be eligible for the exemption from gross floor area, it's a combined structure.
They also addressed that in the letter stating that regarding the suggestion we attached the proposed new garage to the existing pool house, we'd like to submit that the difference in elevations between the ground garage slab and elevation of the pool house is not practical to attach the two buildings. The combination of two structures will result in unusual roof lines that would be architecturally inconsistent. ARB might not go along with that.
I did notice that when I went past. Okay.
What's the maximum size of the accessory structure?
And it varies by zoning district, I believe it's 500 square feet in the zoning district. And just for reference, I'm showing this is the property across the street from the zoning file, on the proposed file, the 2012. It doesn't give a dimension to the garage. You can see the garage here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing the right screen. So this is the property that he has directly across Elm Street.
Oh, we found the survey.
Yes. This is the front of the garage.
Does it show the dimension? I can't see it. Does it show the
That
dimension?
dimension is not labeled on this survey.
Or can you estimate it from any other dimension shown?
Hard to scale on a computer screen. This line here is shown at 38.1 feet, so seems about the same, that back from the street.
Yep, maybe 40.
Do you have any more questions? Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on 107 Woolley Street? Stage, is there anybody?
Nope.
Where do you want to leave this? Want to close the decision, close for all purposes, or?
Do you need any further information from us? Or
I think there's feasible alternatives. You know, a difference in elevation is very easy to overcome. I think the roof line can be settled. I'll take another drive by and take a look at it, but my feeling right now, based upon what we've been presented and the applicant's response, I think there's feasible alternatives.
you want to leave it open then for you to inspect?
We can leave it open, I mean, just as long as next month we're not gonna have the same exact conversation, right? I mean, I think the applicant can probably get a sense of at least where I'm leaning. So she may want to reconsider the application.
Vicky, do you want to keep the application open?
I don't think so. The members of the board here, I background, I was trained as an architect, and so I'm particularly sensitive to the aesthetics. I do understand obviously the technical issues involved with, you know, the changes in elevation. And I don't want to propose to do something to my property and its improvements that I don't feel is an enhancement. I wouldn't do that for myself, I wouldn't suggest that for any of my neighbors. So, I've spent quite a bit of time on this, trying to come up with an alternative solution, and, I really have not been able to do so, this was the best alternative I could come up with. I do need a garage, badly. This is a very, very small garage. And the proposed driveway location, as Alex showed you, are very, very close to, where the driveway was previously. Both of my neighbors, the neighbor, immediately, adjacent to us, has absolutely no problem with it. And, my one across the street at 91, Willard, is also in favor of it. With that, I have really nothing more to add, but I thank you for your consideration.
So should we have them close it for determination?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll motion to.
Before you do that, I just wanted to answer your question from earlier. According to the plan, there's 242.06 square feet of gross floor area available on the property. You had asked that earlier, and it is shown on the survey that the applicant provided.
So 242 GFA available, including the accessory structure.
Including the accessory structures.
As GFA.
Not including accessory structures, not including the garage, which is not counted towards this.
Okay, I'll
So
motion.
just,
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
Alex, so if this were granted, she would be under her gross floor area, she would be under her lot coverage and her building coverage.
Correct. This application would result in no change in gross floor area, and it would be, it would increase the lot coverage, it would be under their allowable lot coverage.
Okay, so garages, of this size don't count towards GFA, they count towards building coverage,
Lot
right?
coverage,
Lot
correct.
coverage. But what about the pool house?
The
That's
pool house does count towards both, and that is being reflected on their
in the
plans.
total GFA calculation.
Yes.
Okay. What's in the pool house now? It's large, there's like a bedroom and a cooking area, or?
The pool house has, like most pool houses, it has it's an open space, and it's got a little bathroom with a shower, and have a mini refrigerator there, so you come and play in the pool, you can take a shower there and relax and watch TV, and then go back out to the pool again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's motion to close for all purposes, case number 3165, Victoria Khan, 107 Woolley Street. Can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Fernan.
Thank you.
So then we will, motion to, unless you have anything else, we're gonna motion to close the hearing.
Just to note that the next meeting is on the 14th, and the following meeting is currently scheduled for December 12th. Yeah.
14th?
November 14th is our next meeting, and the meeting subsequent to that is December 12th.
Super.
Is that correct? December 12th?
Yes. Unless you wanted to discuss changing the applicant's deadlines for revised submissions. That was really the only other thing that I had to mention that the other day as a possibility.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. What we talked about a little bit the other day is that the building department is having some challenge having our materials ready by noon of Tuesday for a Thursday meeting, or Thursday noon for a Tuesday meeting.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's the same deadline.
that's
as the
applicant's
applicant's.
deadline.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, right now,
So-
the applicant deadline for the next meeting would be Thursday, November 9th, at noon. So we just want to make sure that we don't have board members expecting to pick up at the same time that people are
Yeah.
dropping off, but that we
Yeah.
have adequate time.
Yeah.
So the options would be to have board members either pick up a couple hours later, or tell the applicants to drop off, for example, on Tuesday.
I think we need to roll back, yeah.
Maybe give them a grace for the next meeting, because
Okay.
we're just announcing it, but,
So nice all the tables, instead of noon, nice all the tables.
Okay, that's fine, yes.
That way they have till noon.
Yeah. Well, what I was suggesting, which was right, is roll back the document submissions by the applicant to 5 PM the day before, which hopefully will provide the building department with enough time to provide copies, et cetera, so that when board members, if they want to pick them up at noon, they'll be available. Does that sound okay, just to roll it back to, we'll keep it the same for the next November 14th meeting, but going forward, we'll change.
We can do that. Typically, when our office closes at 4, we try not to have deadlines at 4 PM, only because people tend to rush in towards the end of the day.
yeah, I'll make it noon the day before, so you have a full 8-hour work day, right? To you get the afternoon,
Sure.
and then you get the morning.
Or what the ARB is doing right now, to make it consistent, is doing it on what would be the Tuesday. So it would be, maybe a week before the meeting, but that would be another option. You Tuesday and noon for a Thursday.
That's fine.
pickup.
You guys are the ones having to put it together, so.
Yeah, if that gives you an adequate amount of time, then yeah, sure, roll it back to, a week before.
Okay, so we can try that for the December meeting, to implement that. So that meeting is on 12th, and so we can ask for revisions, by Tuesday on the 5th, and have board members pick up, Thursday on the 7th.
Thanks, Alex.
I really get the weekend.
So a motion to close the public hearing of the zoning board of appeals, October 26th, 2023. Can I have a second? And all in favor?
Alright,